So now we're going to turn to Daina, and you're going to give us a slightly different perspective coming from someone who works a lot with investors. And I know investment and fundraising is a topic that we get asked about all the time. It is so important for fast growing businesses. So looking forward to hearing what you have to say, Daina.
Hi everyone, and thank you for having me. So I guess I'm keen to share some insights in terms of how to think like an investor and how to improve access to finance and funding as you scale the business. And I don't think that actually anything I'll share will be rocket science, but hopefully will resonate with quite a few founders who have tried to raise and I guess overcome challenges over the journeys you have had. And I guess the first thing, how I think about it when I have countless meetings with new companies and founders every week, every month, is in the first, I guess, 10 minutes when you meet somebody and they pitch the business to you, you try to figure out, does this business have secret sauce? And what I call secret sauce, it actually doesn't need to be rocket science. But I think every company has to figure out what is special or unique about it. And there needs to be some level of barrier to entry that makes it difficult for others to do what you're doing. Sometimes it is deep tech, intellectual property that a rival business would have to kind of invent from scratch. But often it's actually something much less tangible. It could be simply really good customer service or ability to create really engaging content without having massive marketing budget. And I guess when you look at business differences between businesses which get launched but don't scale and are often almost run as a lifestyle business and don't become big and funded versus those which do scale and attract funding, I do think that often it's down not just to the ambitiousness of the founding team, but their ability to figure out how do we prioritize and what we'll focus on and what we'll do kind of better than others. And I guess as an example to kind of bring it to life, one of the businesses I backed last year is LV, and they have really, I think, broken through the taboos and been able to attract funding whilst operating in a femtech sector, which has been historically underfunded. And how they have managed to do it is by really figuring out what their secret sauce is. Their mission is essentially to empower women through radical female-first technology. And that message and I guess purpose, which I know other speakers mentioned before, which I completely agree with, really resonates with a wide audience. And I know many women around the world who actually have never even bought LV's products yet they know that LV exists. They really resonate with what they're building and have really built that community, which I think is just really important. So that was my first thing, secret sauce. The second thing is actually, I call it sustainable growth plan. Of course, I guess everybody would know that you need to have a financial objectives and plan in any kind of investor pitch. But from my perspective, it's really important for this plan to be sustainable. And what I mean with sustainable is that not only it needs to be realistic and include, yes, financial objectives, but I do think it's very important that there is also a purpose and vision and a set of values which drive strategy and decision making. And any successful business, I think, has to think about what impact it creates on its customers, employees, environment, and wider community as it scales up. And we see it every day now that more and more investors would include ESG criteria in their investment decision-making process. So I almost think businesses who think about finance first and don't think about wider set of values and purpose and impact they're creating are actually shooting themselves in the foot and will probably have more limited access to finance as they scale. And again, to bring this to life, one of the companies I look after at our end at BGF is Gusto, where we have, I think, participated in 9 funding rounds and backed business when initially it was doing only 10 million revenue, and now they are significantly bigger. And what has been so encouraging to see is that, yes, they have been on hyper growth journey for many years in a row, yet they have put the purpose and the value set at the core of what they are building. So they have become B Corp. Their core, I guess, mission is to be the most loved way how to have dinner. And in terms of cutting food waste, investing in recycled packaging, keeping its customers and employees happy, have really been core values and almost criteria which drives decision making. And then yes, growth comes from the customers being happy, employees being happy, and what Em mentioned previously, really, I guess, employees going far above and beyond, even when times get tough or when COVID hits and we can't actually fulfill orders because we are seeing such high demand. That's so important, where basically if you have a sustainable growth plan, you can create that value over longer term rather than shoot for, I don't know, doubling revenues as quickly as possible. So that was my second thing. And the last thing, I think what is really important, and I think often almost underestimated, is really storytelling ability of the founding team. And I think there needs to be a very good balance between, yes, self-confidence, but more importantly, authenticity. Because when you not just pitch to investors, I think any investor looking at the business opportunities, they need to believe that you can actually sell and pitch and tell their story, not just to other investors, but also to your customers, suppliers, being able to attract talent and recruit and retain employees, to find business partnerships, to grow your business, talk to press, I mean, you name it. That ability to tell your story, and I think some of it can be coached and learned, I think is really important. And again, to give the example, one of the businesses, again, I backed last 18 months is this, which is alternative meat brand. And when you look at the creativeness of their marketing content without actually having very high budget, and authenticity, how they really have managed to cut through the noise on social media in terms of what they're building. They're not trying to say that actually eating meat is bad or preaching to kind of hardcore vegans or vegetarians. What they're really trying to do is educating, obviously, how great or tasty their products are, and making, I guess, encouraging people to eat less meat, because it's not just better for planet, it's better for health, and it helps everyone. But they do it in a very, I think, authentic manner, which is not, yes, you always, I guess, alienate some people, but I think what they have built, it's almost intersection of this storytelling ability and secret sauce in terms of brand tone of voice, which is quite unique in terms of, in terms of what I have seen elsewhere. So that was my three things, and hope it resonates with some of the founders who are listening and your own journeys when you are looking to scale and attract funding.